Oh shit. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, I'm finna talk about what is the purpose and what's the point of actually being consciously aware. Now, when we talk about being consciously aware, this ties into the ego. And you can spell it the EGO or you can spell it the EGAO, like relying on a bird. But we know it's like light, and we know you can fly through a light because a light is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? So you can utilize your imagination. This is part of your imagination. So like you can fly in your dreams, or you can fly in your imagination, and things of that nature. So the ego, it is going to help you. It's deeper. I could do another video for that, but I'm just going to be simple so I can break this video down. The ego is more of things that can take you over. We know the ego itself is someone who thinks highly of themselves, and we know the ego, the bird, is an ego that can fly and looks down, the eye upon. So anytime you step into any mechanism, it's still correlated to the same thing. This is why some religious people get confused with, oh, but the Zagites are saying that it's S-U-N and it's supposed to be S-O-N. No, it's the same frequency. And I'm going to break it down from the E-G-O and the E-G-A-L, like the ego and the ego. You see what I'm saying? When a person thinks highly of themselves, they think highly of themselves, but they think they're over others, which others are lower. You see what I'm saying? To them. So that's a form of an ego that a person can use. Then a person could think, look at the bird ego. A bird sits above others. You see what I'm saying? And fly over others and looks down. So that's playing out the humans too. They looks down on others, but it's supposed to be looked at in a positive segue. You're supposed to look at ego like, okay, this is where I see myself going. It's like it should be a sense of direction, and anytime that sense of direction goes through a boundary, limit, or restriction, aka goes into a realm of reality that the force may be too strong, the ego will let you know that you can't go into that realm of reality yet until you obtain the knowledge and realm of reality of that understanding, and then you can overstand it. You see what I'm saying? And be a snake in that vibration and become the ego and rise above it. But you have to be that first. So it's like you always being birthed. You're always being like reborn. You know what I'm saying? This goes deep when we talk about reincarnation and shit. We can't really be using that word really no more. This shit goes deep. And that's why it's important not to get into religions that always tell you need to be reborn, because you're always going to remain a child. You're always going to remain needy. You're never going to remain adult. You're never going to understand. You're never going to grow. You're never going to be able to outmaster the shell you in. Now this is the whole point of being consciously aware. You see what I'm saying? Because consciously aware takes you on that trip, that light trip, that you can rise up and rise up higher, even in the vessel that you're in the dimension that you're in. So you in the third dimension right now, in a third dimensional vessel. Ego can take you to perceive higher realms of realities in this vessel. You may not understand the conscious awareness of that vessel, but you can perceive that vessel from how you see it in a 3D dimensional body. That's why you're able to even see the planets the way you see. But really, these are just lights and components getting ready to make a whole being the same way you are. Now let's get into the point of being consciously aware. Consciously aware is something like a person. It's like taking life force. You're receiving, but you also giving off. So that little friction there is your ability to vibrate high. Now, the higher you're able to vibrate, the more you're able to receive, because the more you're able to give off. So that's the whole point. So if you're going to receive more, right, and give off more, the vessel that you in has to be hardware to handle that. So this is why people get old to a certain degree, because after a while, in this realm of reality, you have experienced so much time, aka you have witnessed so many spirits, ideas, frequencies, thoughts. You let so much shit attach to your soul, emotions and feelings and things of that nature. You express so much that you have developed enough knowledge to and it had outworn this vessel. And now, depending on how you was vibrating, you may wasn't attracting no energy, and you may wasn't vibrating on no level. So when you transform out of this vessel because it's too old due to all the experience, you lack. So you come back into a frequency vibration that only your energy can handle. So it may be a lesser being. It may be a lesser being than you was if you was a human. You know what I'm saying? You may become a bug or animal or something because that's all you can handle, because that's all you was, the characteristic traits you was receiving. But if you're receiving more, you gain a planetary consciousness. You get, that's fifth dimension. You gain an oversoul consciousness. That's fourth dimension. You gain a sun consciousness. That's sixth dimension. You gain a solar system consciousness. That's seventh dimension. And you're not looking at this shit and being naive based upon how oversouls try to keep you to go lower so that you can keep giving them power. You know what I'm saying? And be nothing and just be less and less and be more sheep. You know what I'm saying? The more you gain, right? It's like a power. Right? So the more consciously aware is the more spirit and soul you get. Your light shine brighter. So after a while, the light can't even be immense. Your body, the vessel can't even handle that much. But like I said, the universe could know how to work with you. So it's only going to give you what you can handle. You know what I'm saying? But it's people here who's telling the universe, I can handle a whole lot. These are the people who trying to get consciously aware. So the universe is putting in as much as it can. So a lot of times you have to be careful about being consciously aware too, because these are people who get took off this earth early. You see what I'm saying? And it plays out through circumstances like it's horrible to their family, friends, or others. But really, it's not that. It's just really that they took in so much energy that with the things that they're consciously aware of is too much for this vessel to handle, and they have to transform and take a bigger vessel, aka become an oversoul, planet, or whatever, this, that, and the third. You see what I'm saying? Now, before we even get into being a planet or anything like that, because niggas is becoming rocks these days. People's as dumb as doorknobs these days. So people with stagnated energies these days. So before we even get into that, so you can say dolo, pseudo, this, that, and the third. Let me tell you the whole point of being consciously aware, so you can get a basic understanding. So let me give you a story of myself, why I can even give you certain knowledge that I can give you, and why I don't even like saying God is who y'all call God is, and we need to know who the fuck is I. Because when you really think about it, every language is telling you how to describe something. So you have been forced to believe that when you make a statement saying I, you think that the language is using the I as describing you. And you is not I. So we have to understand to a certain degree that if it appears that when we're having a conversation that I'm talking to myself, then you is I. So in no way, in any way, shape, or form, no matter if I'm saying you ain't I, but if I'm talking to you, you is I. When you get into a language in general and make a statement saying I did something, or I'm living, or I got a family, you gotta understand, if you're receiving everything and you're receiving spirits, then there's an overall spirit called I, and it's an I in everybody. Same way how you can say you, it's a little bit of you in everybody, or I can say it's a little bit of me in everybody. But that's not what we're actually saying. You have to understand that. See, this language is fucking it up. I come from a realm of reality of true language that's not even called language. So I'm Archangel Uriel. When I come here, you have to understand, when I say I, a lot of times I'm talking about, we're gonna get into that, but you have to understand, when anytime you saying, all right, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, you saying I'm about to do that. So there's a being that's correlated with I, that's experiencing everything, and you're just experiencing it through it. So every time you say I, that being is experiencing what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand this shit. This shit is deep. I'm trying to get people to understand what's truly you. But all right, for me to even talk like this right now, right? I got to give you a little backstory of me. Now, this story, you may not believe it or whatever, but that's up to you. But the simple fact that I even had to say that, I felt I did some disjustice, saying whether you believe it or not, because this is what's actually going on. And I'm finna break it down on a humanistic level. So me talking about you getting consciously awareness, right, is you just gaining so much consciousness, aka soul and spirit, aka light, aka power, that you have to transform into a big. So check this out. You have a life within you, right? So you are a galaxy, solar system, universe, all within one, too, right? So I'm gonna use my daughter as an example. Now, we know a spirit is a frequency. A frequency is a thought, an idea, a line of events. And then it doesn't become a soul till it goes in a room, a womb, a realm of reality. What comes second? A vibration, a feeling, a soul. So check this out. Now, I'm catching a lot of spirits and ideas all day, right? So in my body, it's a lot of these things doing the same thing. Same way you are within Earth, just a cell, a vessel in Earth, you got that with inside you, right? Now, it was an idea of my daughter in me. A life, a living life. Same way me, I'm saying I'm the flight boss in Earth. Same way my daughter Marissa was in me, right? As an idea of thought. When I fucked her mother, right? Now, you have to understand, to a certain degree, my daughter was consciously aware more than the beings she was around in that realm as a spirit. So the idea of her, who she thought she was way more. So she was consciously aware enough and high consciousness enough in whatever reality they was living in to learn shit, to be high enough to contact my idea. She was channeling the sun within me. She was channeling me high enough and doing things I like enough. That's like the same way in my video how I was saying that you got to watch these planets. The people who's benefiting that you don't like from these planets is actually doing things that these planets like. So my daughter inside me, her ideas and the way she was carrying herself was ways that was keeping me together. So obviously she made herself high enough for me to become a grand idea. So as I was fucking, the sperm, aka spirit, that got formulated was the idea of her. So when she went into a womb, aka her mother, another realm of reality, right? Now she's starting to look for a vessel. It becomes a soul. Now it has emotions and feelings now. It's not just an idea. My daughter had emotions and feelings. So now in that world, she was the strongest emotionally. She had the strongest feelings. See what I'm saying? And from her idea, that's what allowed her to have these feelings, because she had a high her frequency was on a high frequency. So when she stepped in that world, she was teaching these motherfuckers shit. But in a feeling way now, expressing shit in an emotional way. She was vibrating real high to the point that, like I said, when you want to move in direction in the yin realm, right? The same way how you look right, left, up and down in the yang realm, in the yin realm, if you want to look up, you feel up. And that's how you move. So that's how you move in your dreams. When you're doing shit that you want to do righteous, that's when you really start walking to the right in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? In the yin realm, if you want to look to the right, you move right. I mean, you feel righteous. If you want to look forward or move, you feel like you're moving forward. If you want to move backwards, you feel like you left something behind, or you feel like you resent or something like that. If you want to look to the left or move to the left, you feel like you left field or something. So my daughter was using all these vibrations. She was using all those vibrations way harder than others. She was doing way more righteous shit, way more left field shit, looking up, way more of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Looking up, feeling up, way more down shit, feeling down. So her vibrations, her direction moved to the A faster than everybody. Boom. So boom, now she in a vessel, right? So she had gained, she was smarter than everybody there. Gained enough. So now she took the vessel. Now in that realm of reality, she was vibrating higher than everybody, right? So then now when when her mother was born, when her mother was pregnant, who did she have? She had my daughter. You see what I'm saying? So now my daughter is in this realm of reality. So she's still who she was when she was with her mother, and then when she was in me, is this that she got so much consciously aware that she was able to take a higher form. Then when she got in her mother, she got so consciously aware that when she died there and transformed, she was able to take a higher form and got birthed into a higher realm of reality. Now she's able to perceive more. But now look at your children and look at you. You just looking at everyday life like, okay, this is us. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, this ain't nothing. So like I said, there's always a heaven to a hell, there's always a heaven to a hell. This is what we're getting to. But it just matters what realm of reality you on. But it's still all in the same shit. You see what I'm saying? So now you have to look at it. My daughter is in a heaven where she just came out of a hell, but she just came into another hell, and there's another heaven. So when you looking at the everybody else in your existence, the same way how you can perceive the stars and the planets, those are conscious beings also. So when you get there, you're just going to look at it like how you looking at it now. You see what I'm saying? But you're just going to be more consciously aware shit. So the same way how me right now and you, we in 3D, and you see how I just explained my whole daughter life from 1D to 2D to her going into 3D, and now she can experience a 3D realm of reality, right? But how we could perceive the 4D and 5D, but we wasn't born there yet, so we only could perceive it from a 3D. That's how it is. You see what I'm saying? So a planet, oversoul, or a sun can look down and be like, okay, this is how they here, and this is how they within us. But within them, they can perceive a solar system and galaxy, but it's still, they not aware yet. Because really, a sun and planets is just what your kids was within you, within a solar system. Do you get what I'm saying now? So, how I'm able to kick what I'm kicking, what I'm saying is, I was birthed before I descended. I was birthed in a being above the verse. You see what I'm saying? Above the verse. I was so consciously aware that I struck the idea of a supreme being and went into a realm of reality of another super supreme being and came out in a realm of reality that's way above the verse. This is why I don't tie God to a verse. This is why I always say universe, universe, and in your realm of reality, the highest you can get is to a verse. But I was somewhere after that and descended real quick. I perceived a little bit, but I didn't really have a life. It was almost like a girl masturbating or a guy masturbating and their sperm coming out into here, but not doing it the proper way. So it's not surviving. So that spirit is not consciously high enough to perceive this much. So it gets dissipated. It's like a super hell. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of like me. There's a lot of other people here that's like that too, but I'm trying to give you the understanding like that's me. So this is why I can talk the way I'm talking a lot of times. And see, when you get shot in that realm of reality, it's way the only way I can really explain it to y'all is looking at the eyes. Now, I constantly try to keep getting y'all back to the one eye being, but before we do that, I gotta break it down in so many duality layers. Off the bat, you're ran by a bunch of duplicities, so you are really two universes. Because look at your eyes. Your eyes is like the center of the. So anytime you go into the mirror, you're reflecting the whole universe that you're within. So the point that you're able to look at yourself and see you got two eyes next to each other, that's an example of a marriage between two universes. So it's a universe right here and it's a universe right here. And both of them together created a galaxy. But just them together the galaxy is going to see things in two ways. So this is your proof that they're beside each other, because you have two eyes, and you have a male and a female eye. No matter how much no matter how much vision you have in either one, you're gonna have one that's male, one that's female. Period. One is gonna be the direction, one is gonna be the emotional side of it, and it's gonna lack direction, but it's gonna be more superior in the other realms of realities. You see what I'm saying? So you can't even escape that yet. I've been in the realm of reality of the one beings and the one eye being, and that ain't even it yet. You see what I'm saying? But that's another video. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm trying to get you to understand the only way I can kind of get y'all to understand in this realm of reality. You see your eye. The middle of your eye is actually the black hole. It's actually like the center of the galaxy and the galaxy itself. So the spiral coming from the real pupil center of your eye that's the galaxy. So everything you're seeing is what you're seeing is a receiving. You're receiving the galaxy, and it's doing that. That's what it's actually doing. You can really learn the galaxy with your eyes, and you can learn the mother and the father galaxies. You know what I'm saying? By looking at your weak eye and looking at your strong eye. That's the mother and the father galaxy. Fuck the suns and shit. So the black hole ain't really a black hole. It is like a hole. It's just emitting so much light and concealing so much energy that it's sucking in everything that's around. So if it's taking in all the color and the properties of everything around, it's going to appear as nothing. But nothing is something. But no, nothing is nothing. Something is nothing, really. See, it's going to be hard to get y'all to these concepts. I got to do a bunch of videos to even get here. But look, then after the center of your eye, you got around your eye. That's actually what you're actually seeing everywhere. The light. That's actually the light. So when you see the sun, you're not seeing the center of the sun. You're not seeing the whole of it. You're just seeing around it. And since around it is so bright and you're so small compared to the sun, that it just seemed like that's the whole thing. But nah, it's a hole. Just like in the center of you, you have a hole. Your dick hole. Center of a female, she have a hole. The pussy hole. Center of everything has a hole. That's the location in it, and where things could come out of it. You see what I'm saying? Now, check this out. Now, when you talk about the outer, that's all the outer. So that's like the color. You say your eye color is brown, your eye color is green, gray. You're just talking about the light shade of it. That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? You're not seeing the center pupil. You're just seeing the color out shade of it. Now you have outside of that, which is the white area, right? The white area. Now, that's as far as I can get you to explain where I was at. And it's as far as I can get you to understand the spirit frequency realm itself. And it's as far as I can get you to understand why sperm look like that. Why spirit look like that. Why every time you see a cloud or a ghost, it looks like that. Why every time you see, every time somebody say, I seen the light, they're not talking about the light that people and beings is trying to focus people on. They say they see a white light. This is why every time, because it's a certain dimension, realm of reality, that's you can perceive, but it's so far in distance, and you're so many dimensions lower and so many numbers under, that you can't comprehend that. But it's a few people, but we're trying to elevate everybody the closest way to comprehending that. And it's a way to comprehend it. It's just not going to take one video, because this video is about the point of being consciously aware. The point of being consciously aware is for when you do transform, you become in a greater vessel and not in a lesser vessel, because you don't want to be any stale consciousness and just become a rock. You want to be a rock that can actually move. You want to be a rock that can actually think. You want to be a rock that can actually float. You want to be a rock that can actually ascend. You don't want to be a rock that can sink and go to the bottom lows of lows and stand still. Because you see that every day with rocks on the ground. Because when a collection of rocks is on the ground, it's not utilized for nothing but being a ground for people can walk on and do things on. So if you utilizing a bunch of stagnated energy, you're going to combat that. Because you may be a person now who got movement, but you may be getting walked all over in your life. People just walking all over you, using you as a crutch, using you as a footstool. Get the fuck out of that consciousness. And that consciousness come in all shapes, ways, and forms. The same way everything does. Hell comes in all shapes, ways, and forms. Heaven comes in all ways, shapes, and forms. To the point that fuck heaven and hell. Because heaven and hell is the same thing. When you look at heaven, it's hell. When you look at hell, it's heaven. When you look at the Christian hell, it's burning in a bowl of fire. When you look at the Christian heaven, it's sitting in pure light. When you look at that in all realms of realities, it's the same thing. Stagnated energy, sitting in one spot, sitting, and then they just added fire. Christians, a lot of religions, just in love with the fire element. That's all that is. When you think about a church and shit, dun 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 dun, music, dancing, people raising their hands. Given it's one person on the stage, they all raising their hands too. It's a choir up there, which is angels, with a center person up there preaching, oh no 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 no, dancing, yeah. In astrology, the fire element and all that shit, dancing and all that shit, and bringing out your spirit and all that shit, and sweating and all that shit, getting all into the word and shit. That's fucking fire. Last time I fucking checked. So as Archangel Uriel, last time I checked, when I came onto this motherfucking earth and I seen an altar and a church and I seen everybody praising the motherfucking hell, this, that, and third, and then when I go watch the motherfucking movie Tales from the Hood, and when at the end these motherfuckers ended up in hell and they was all burning up, it goddamn seemed like the same goddamn shit to me. I don't give a fuck what y'all was feeling based upon y'all vibration energy. As Archangel Uriel, it looked like the goddamn same shit to me. When people was in a pool of fire and souls burning for eternity, then a bunch of motherfucking people at church catching the Holy Ghost all next to each other, burning in eternity with someone on fucking stage with a group of people aside them singing a choir. With a bunch of dancing and sweating going on. It's the same fucking shit. You need fire. Y'all love that fire, don't y'all? Y'all in love with that fucking fire. I mean, all the angels in y'all goddamn Bible came down with fucking flaming swords. Motherfucker. Even gods ain't gonna burn all y'all motherfuckers. Y'all in love with the motherfucking fire. To the point that y'all, even Satan and everybody got something to do with fire. The whole Christ, the light, fire. Christianity is fire. It's the fire. Hey, check this out. Check this out. I run Christianity. You know why? Because I am the fire element. And the fire element itself is what Christianity is praising. And this what happened. You got planets, suns, oversouls who took the fire element, who took pieces of the fire. They just a piece of it. This is why all the religions need peace. They took a piece of it, right? They took a piece of the fire element and said, I'm this. And if you don't worship me, your ass will perish. I will transform your ass faster than you want to be transformed. Your spirit and soul in you might not even be ready to be transformed, but I would transform your ass now. And now you got all these different gods and religious shit trying to be me, the fire element. And I am the fire element. And what I'm doing now, I can't do nothing but laugh. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.